Hi, I'm Christian Triola, author of The Missing Method for Guitar books. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to read guitar music in fifth position, or the middle of the neck. Now, fifth position for me is kind of the sweet spot. I go to it probably more than the other positions when I'm first reading something or trying to learn a tune. Now, here's the reason why. In fifth position, you can go as low as A on the last string, and you can go as high as C on the first string, which is 2 ledger lines above the treble clef. So you have a large range of notes to choose from. But not only that, you can go lower on the last string and it's not too far out of reach. And you can go higher on the first string and it's not too far out of reach. So you can get a ton of notes right in the middle, and then you can shift easily down or up, covering the whole neck basically. So it's really a useful spot to know because of that. So let's take a closer look at the fifth position on the guitar. Now, when a lot of us learn to play guitar, teachers do things differently. Sometimes you'll learn tab first, sometimes you'll just learn songs by ear, sometimes you'll just strum some chords. But the most common way, and what they might call the classical way of doing it, is to learn to read notes. And that's how I first learned how to play guitar. And when they do that, they teach you the notes in open position. And it makes sense. You're just kind of learning the notes in a logical order. You start with the high string, and you work your way down to the low string, then you learn sharps and flats, and all that sort of thing. And then what usually happens is you start learning chords, you do learn tab, you learn all sorts of things, you start playing around with more of the neck, even though you don't really know all those notes as well. In fact, it took me a while to figure out how to learn all these notes. And so here's what I did. I started back at the very beginning. I took the open string, the first string, and thought, okay, my notes are E, F, G. Now we have sharps and flats on the second and fourth frets, but we're not going to worry about those right now. We're just going to think about 3 notes. Nothing else. So we have E, F, G. Now, I did learn at some point that the E is duplicated on the next string lower at the 5th fret. So we have E, which means logically the next fret is going to be F, and then G is the 8th fret. So you have the exact same notes there. E, F, G. So what that should tell you is everything in fifth position, with the exception of the first string, are all notes you know how to read already. So it's just a matter of applying what you know here in this region of the neck. Now that's easier said than done, because you could probably do that pretty easily, figure out where all these notes are, but it's practice that cements those skills and keeps those ideas in your head. If you don't practice reading them in that position, you'll never really know them quite as well. But before we get into more of that, let's figure out the rest of the notes. So all the other strings work exactly the same way. String number 2, we have the notes B, C, D, or open, first, third. Now, this is the only string that's weird because of how the guitar is tuned. Instead of the 5th fret, we have to go back to the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And that's where the B is. The 5th fret is the C. The 7th fret is the D. So we have B, C, D, shift up to the 2nd string, and we have E, F, G. So let's continue this idea. 3rd string in open position, open G, followed by the A. So that means we go down to the 4th string, 5th fret. There's that same G. Go up a whole step. There's that same A that you just played in the other position. So now you can do G, A, shift back, B, C, D, shift back up, E, F, G. And just like that, you at least know where these notes can be found. So when you practice them, it's a little bit easier to figure out which is which. Let's continue. So we go to the 4th string. Open is D, and E is the 2nd fret, F is the 3rd. So that means we go to the string lower, 5th fret is that open D, go up a whole step to E at the 7th fret, and then use the pinky to get the 8th fret for the F. D, E, F. And then instead of going through them all again, let's get to the last one. 5th string open is A, 2nd fret is B, 3rd fret is C. So on the last string, 5th fret, A, 7th fret is that same B, 8th fret is the C. And now, whatever is on the last string is the same on the 1st string, except 2 octaves higher. So we have A at the 5th fret, and on paper that's going to have 1 ledger line, and it's through the ledger line. The B is next. Again, 1 ledger line above the treble clef, and it's above the ledger line. And then the last note in this position, C. 2 ledger lines, and it's through that 2nd ledger line above the treble clef. So A, B, C, same as A, B, C. So because of that, since it starts on A, it's really easy to remember the order of the notes. We have A, B, C, shift to the next string, D, E, F, next string, G, and then we start the alphabet over. A here on the 4th string, 7th fret, shift back for that B, C, D, shift up for E, F, G, and of course after G, A, B, C. And that covers the entire 5th position. So to figure out sharps and flats, you would just do the same thing. If let's say you wanted a C sharp, go to one of the C's, just go to the next fret, just like you would any other position on the neck. So I like to think of those notes in groupings. So when you go through this and try learning those notes, don't try to do them all at once. Now I did that for the purposes of this video, but when you practice it, do it 1 string at a time. Think, okay, I know E, F, G here, so I'm just going to practice E, F, G for 1 week down here. And then do that with each string until they become comfortable, start adding sharps and flats, and before you know it, you'll be able to read in 5th position pretty quickly. Now, one way that you can practice that is with the Missing Method for Guitar Note Reading Series, Book 2. It covers everything we just talked about. It covers all the keys, which means you'll take on all the sharps and flats. You'll learn where they're all at in this position. You'll get plenty of songs to practice, plenty of different rhythms to practice, and by the time you're done with that book, you'll be able to play and read in 5th position much, much better than you do now. Also too, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, wow, I really don't know the notes in 1st position yet, so maybe I should wait. Well, don't worry. We have Missing Method for Guitar Note Reading Series Book 1, which teaches you all these open string notes. And not only that, is it goes through all the keys, which a lot of the method books don't do. Because a method book is designed to teach you more than just note reading. This book is designed to just teach you note reading. That's all it focuses on. Gives you plenty of songs to practice, gives you the sharps and flats, different rhythms, everything you need to know to focus in on just note reading. So if you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful, definitely give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate it when people do that. On top of that too, if you visit our website, you'll learn more about the Missing Method for Guitar Note Reading Series. We also have books on chords, books on technique that you might want to check out as well. And on top of that, if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll get a free ebook. So don't forget about that. And if you'd like more note reading practice, I also do a series called Reading the Riff, where there's PDFs along with it to help you practice your note reading while learning famous guitar riffs. It's a lot of fun to do, and it'll give you practice reading your notes. All right, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.